Hey, what do you want to da-da-da?
I don't know. What do y'all think we should da-da-da?
Well, what did we da yesterday?
Yesterday.
All the dolls feel like the same doll these days.
I know.
Like, is today Monday or Tuesday?
Today is Thursday.
Oh no, I forgot to call my mom on her birthday.
Oh no!
No!
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. That won't change. Not today or any day.
Quote today at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is your Thursday Night Football College and NFL podcast brought to you by both DuffyVideo.com and OffshoreInsiders.com. We will definitely have your free pick coming up in just one moment. 29-16 with all football picks. Joe Duffy's picks are, we are 29-16. Bam! Yes, the Grandmaster has released the first wave of winners for this weekend. Already 3 college and 2 NFL winners. Most likely by the time you hear this report, you're going to have a whole lot more. Please go to Joe Duffy's picks at OffshoreInsiders.com. Hurry by them before the lines move. We move lines. Joe Duffy's picks at OffshoreInsiders.com. Now let's take a look at your Thursday Night Football. Denver and Kansas City. Kansas City is laying 3 minus 120 and 42. The public is betting on Kansas City, but not by an overwhelming margin, just 56%. 68% like the over. And as far as the college football game, it is Clemson at Louisville. Clemson 6.5 and 51. As expected, the public just in love with the road favorite. Clemson favored by 75% of the betting public so far. And no surprise either, the over is favored by 73%. We're going to have a free winner coming up from Joe Duffy's picks in just one moment. Now, here are your ATS trends. Brought to you by DuffyVideo.com. Get your bar mitzvah, wedding, anniversary montages at DuffyVideo.com. Clemson is on a 4-0 overall run, 6-2 on field turf, but they're 5-11 on the road against teams with a losing home record. They've dropped 5 straight conference games. Louisville, 10-3 following a straight-up loss, 17-6 inside the conference. 0-6 at home. They're 1-6 at home with a winning against teams with a winning home record. Some over/under trends. Clemson has gone under 11-1 following a loss, but over 12-4 in the month of September. Louisville has gone under 10-4 following an ATS loss. Now for some trends on the Thursday Night Football game. We're going to have our exclusive news and notes and a free pick coming up. Denver 5-0 to the AFC West. 8-3 on grass. Again, all records are against the spread. Broncos are 0-5 following a spread win. Kansas City 6-1 at home, 11-5 overall, 5-12 at home against teams with a winning road record. Denver and Kansas City. Denver has gone over 31-11 against teams with a winning record, over 37-15 after getting less than 90 yards rushing in their previous game. Kansas City under 27-11 at home, 42-20 on grass. In straight up and head-to-head competition, Denver has covered 5 of the last 6 in Kansas City. Well, again, now here are some news and notes exclusively from Joe Duffy's notepad. And Joe Duffy, of course, the anchor of OffshoreInsiders.com. Clemson and Louisville. Tigers entered 2-0 with really not very much tested against Wofford and Appalachian State. Louisville's had more than they can handle. They lost their opener to Auburn and then a stunner to Houston, so they enter 0-2. Tigers return just one starter, though, from last year's offensive line. Through 2 games, the Cardinals have already used 3 different quarterbacks, but this will be far and away the biggest test that the Clemson offensive line has seen against a good defense in Louisville. Now, teams that have covered the first 2 games by a combined 70 points or more margin of victory, a very solid 581 and 496 with 18 pushes. That's 53.9%. But when they're playing against a winless team, such teams are 45-25 and 1, 64.3%. Because, as we've said so many times in college football, momentum plays a much bigger part, and this is documented by our database and all kinds of systems. Momentum is so much bigger in college football than any other sport, and our research also has shown that, the momentum can also be beating up on the weaklings. Our free pick in this game is to go with Clemson. Once again, Clemson. Now some NFL news and notes. The Broncos and the Chiefs, the home team, if they are off of a road game, and the road team off of a home game on Thursday Night Football, and the road team not coming off of a bye. The home team is 38-23 against the spread. Now, rookie quarterback Marcus Peters for Kansas City did intercept a pass, but he was beaten twice for a touchdown. He struggled with the size and leaping ability of DeAndre Hawkins. Now he faces a much bigger Demaryius Thomas, and he's going to be going against Peyton Manning rather than Brian Hoyer. So our reports, our scouts out there, the sources that we use, we're not going to claim to have personal scouts working for us, but some sources that we use say that he is going to be targeted early and often, and that Denver will exploit that mismatch. Now, including the preseason, though, Peyton Manning is yet to score a touchdown, and also our sources that we trust say it's clear the offense is not quite in sync with Gary Kubiak's new schemes as of yet. But part of that reason is Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas both missed a ton of time during the preseason, so perhaps Game 1 really worked as their preseason, and perhaps they will be a little bit more in sync on Thursday night. Remember, for the best premium picks anywhere, it's always offshoreinsiders.com. You also get the power of more than 620 services behind each and every play. www.offshoreinsiders.com, www.offshoreinsiders.com. If you play fantasy football, please support our site, support these podcasts. Go to offshoreinsiders.com. Click on that link that says win your share of $10 million this week in daily fantasy. That will show your support if you sign up for this podcast, and it'll keep the information free. But visit Joe Duffy's picks at offshoreinsiders.com. Also visit duffyvideo.com. Support that. Keep these podcasts free. Tell them you heard about it on the podcast when you make a purchase, and that will keep these podcasts free. And, of course, you got your free pick earlier in this report. Sometimes we'll give it at the beginning. Sometimes we'll give it in the middle. Sometimes we'll give it at the end. I know some people are simply looking for a free pick, and I guess that's okay, but you want to get the best information, so make sure you pay attention to the entire podcast to get the free premium pick from Joe Duffy's Picks.
Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra Dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at homedepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.